Good morning, and welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS, with your host, Bob Pace. It's a warm welcome, and what I call CPS is the Child Protection Systems. They're found in every county in every state and also worldwide. This is a worldwide live stream broadcast. I've talked to over um, 30 countries in the world, in all 50 states in the U.S. I've been doing this now for 2.5 years. I've talked to over 2,600 people. 100 of them are worldwide, and 2,500 are in the United States. There's approximately 3,144 counties. So, with the 2,500 people in the U.S. that I've talked to, they've all said that CPS is bad. And percentage wise, that's more than half. But I'm going to take a conservative approach and say only half. Maybe 1,500 CPS entities are gone rogue. And what I mean by that is they don't do family reunification. They don't care about parents, they don't care about elderly people. And I know that's harsh to hear that. It's a government agency that I wanted to believe when it happened to me in 2015. I've been fighting CPS for a long time. It started about 2014 for me. And it started with basically, and I did not know this until after my case, with lay people who were my um, wife's mother, father, three sisters, and her brother calling in week after week, making up stories that weren't true. It's always been that way. We have 33 years of marriage, and when I first met her, her family was against me. Get to know her. They didn't come to our wedding. My parents did, but even her sister, who's really close by, wouldn't come. Now, I understand that her parents are far away and stuff, and so a lot of times they can't make it. We purposely went to her sister's wedding, her two sisters' wedding. Her brother had gotten married before I knew her, and she's always been very supportive of her family. She has strong beliefs in God, but we found out later through the CPS that she was abused as a child. She had gone through a lot. And that's what's sad about CPS, is everybody goes through a lot and a lot of sacrifices. It also is the gateway to child trafficking. Yeah, you heard me right. Children, young children are taken advantage by adults, trafficking them to other countries. Countries like Russia. I mean, it's just terrible what I've been hearing about child trafficking. And it starts coming from a home that there may have been some truth to the allegations or may not have been, but there's no family reunification. It's been studies shown that the best families are the biological families to raise their children. Now, I'm on here 3 times a day. I come on at 8 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and again at 6 o'clock in the evening. And I've been doing that now for 2.5 years. Day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. I started October 23rd. I didn't know what I was going to get into, but I've met some beautiful people. I have 50 to 75 regular people that show up on this show daily. They're from all walks of life, all personalities, but one thing they all have in common, including myself, we were victimized by CPS. Victimized. We didn't know that this government entity was that bad. Now, CPS was started at the urgency of the Congress in 1974 when they mandated a part of social service to take care of our kids. Um, it was supposed to protect our kids from abuse and neglect and do family reunification. But the family reunification, I think, has died. I don't think there's anything to that family reunification. Anyway, I'm on here to help you all. In order to help me, I really need you to address a question or a comment to me. All I ask is your first name and the city and state you're from. If you're outside of the United States, your city and country. And last week we had a girl or a lady from Scotland. Her name was Heather Stewart, and she has a very difficult case. Her two kids were taken, and now she just found out she's pregnant, and she doesn't know what to do. Now I haven't heard from her in a little bit. I hope to hear from her again. She wants to be a guest on my show, which is great. I need to put together a list of guests so that I can do this. Um, anyway, I know that you all have an issue about CPS. And I know it must be hard to go through what you're going through because it's strange. It's very, very, very strange. It's a crazy world we live in. I know there's all kinds of issues going on. Our country is only 250 years old. That's 250 years old that we've been around. But child abuse that I've found has been going on for over 400 years in the United States. In the late 1500s, 1600s, there's cases of child abuse and how it was resolved. Today, we have a government agency that we trust to protect our kids. It has many different names, as many as different counties. You have 3,144 counties in 50 states. And each county will have a different name. Like in my case, I'm in California and I'm broadcasting live from a place called Surf City, USA, south of Los Angeles. I'm 3 blocks from the beach. It's a nice neighborhood I live in, very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. Um, I was born in California, but I was raised pretty much around the world. I've lived in various countries around the world and I've traveled a lot of countries. But one thing I'm always thankful is coming back here to the United States. There are nice places out there, don't get me wrong. Tavarua on Fiji is a nice little island, great surf, beautiful waters. You can eat from the waters. People are very kind there. But I'm also thankful to be in the USA. There's so many advantages of being in the USA people don't even realize. You can look at the way that we can disrespect our president. We can disrespect a lot of things. It's amazing how we can talk freely in our country. I want to go talk before Congress about how CPS has gone rogue and how much that over half of the 3,144 CPS entities have gone bad. They're not doing family reunification. Children are being rounded up like cattle and put into trafficking into foster care where they're abused. Then they run away and they're caught up in the sex trade industry. That's one of the greatest markets for young people, also older people too. They're taken and put on container ships and shipped around the world. And when they arrive, their passports are taken. If they have a passport, a lot of the children are taken with maybe not even a driver's license. They have no identity. Teenagers are easy prey for trafficking. Think about it. Very few people have passports at that age. I didn't have it. Well, let me see. Did I have it? Well, yeah, I had a passport. Yeah. I've had a passport since, I would say, since 56, a long time. My children had passports at the age of 1 because I'm a traveler. And I know that my son, who's 25 now, 25 years ago, he was in a parade in Porto de Glinas, Brazil. That's south of Recife. That's on the Atlantic side. The parade was recognizing the countries of the world for an annual surfing event 25 years ago. I mean, I've been doing surfing for 69 years. So I've seen a lot in this world, and I've seen recently this thing called CPS. I didn't know about CPS till I started getting my first call. Hello. Well, I don't think it was a call, it was a knock on the door. And if I knew now what I know back then, I would never have talked to them. But I had nothing to hide. It was a social worker, and she was saying that had she had accusations. It wasn't an allegation. It wasn't like, hi, we've heard some allegations. It was like, you've been reported that you're not feeding your children, or you've been reported that you're not bathing your children. You've been reported that children are in school. Well, this went on week after week after week. And I kept answering their concerns. I said, here are the children's grade reports. They're doing very well in school. One's in a private high school, one's in a state art elementary school, and one is in a revamped elementary school, all college bound classes. And here are their grades, A's and B's. How come you say they're not in school? Look at this. They said, we must be mistaken. Well, what happens is anybody can call in, a lay person, and the other group is called professionals. I'll talk about them in a moment. Can make accusations, whether they're true or not. And lately, a lot of the people have been making false accusations. Why? They want to retaliate, or they want something with your children. Let's say you cross tempers with a neighbor, and they're so angry, they use CPS to get back at you. If your yard is overgrown in your yard, your dog's barking, they'll make up wild stories like your children are running naked in the yard. Well, they come investigate the man, and he says, I don't have any children, they're all grown up. I'm sorry, we're mistaken it. The problem is no research goes into accusations. When they hear an accusation right away, they believe it's true, especially with professionals. Now, these people that are professional are required by law to report it. And a lot of them are mistaken. They get right about 50% of the time. Lay people get right about 25% of the time. Now, these times are taken based on what I've heard, based on the number of people and so forth. They're well thought out. So it sounds terrible because you deal with a government agency that has gone rogue, that has no control. They do not care. There's no watchdog over them. Right now, they're being investigated by the new agency called DOGE. It's Department of Government Efficiency. It was set up by our new president a year ago in January when he became president. One of his campaign promises that he cut down government wasteful spending. I mean, right now, the government is sending checks to people that are dead. They're sending checks to people that don't work. People that are making $100,000 a year are getting $600 a month in food stamps. That doesn't make sense. Why? The government agencies have gone so bad, so rogue. I know it's hard, and I'm here talking about different things. I try to make my shows different. I try to change the order of things, but the best time on my show is when you guys send me a comment or a question that I can answer. A comment or a question would be great because I want to help you because I care about you. And one of the things I can is I have an attorney that works for me. His name is Attorney Vincent W. Davis. I hired him. He got my children back. He's been fighting CPS for over 40 years. He's trained in dependency law. That's what CPS is. It's called dependency court. He's also trained in family law and juvenile law. It takes an attorney with those three things to be a good CPS fighter. Dependency law, family law, and juvenile law are the minimum criteria. But he's more than those three. He's also a background in criminal law. He's a trial attorney. He can do trials. Now, CPS does not do trials, which I think is wrong. That's another thing I like to change. If you're accused, you have the right to go before your peers and let them settle it whether you're guilty or not guilty. But they have one individual, like a judge, decide the fate of your family that'll affect you for your lifetime. I've seen it firsthand. I've had the social workers coach my youngest daughter to divorce from mom and dad. See, in the state of California, I didn't know this. A lot of things you don't know. You can divorce your parents for whatever reason if you're 12 years or older. Not only that, she was coached in how to change her name completely. She's changed her first, middle, and last name. She sealed her original birth certificate and got a new one. I know because I went to try to get a copy of her birth certificate. I already have a copy, by the way. They said I could not do so because it was sealed. That was sealed by a court order. She somehow got, there's so many things that how would she know at 12 years old to do these things? Not only that, they got her a second Social Security card. And with that, she's double dipping from her retirement. She already has a first Social Security card, and I had requested assistance because of my income that I could get some assistance from my retirement for my three young children. See, I had lost my job in 2010. It was a terrible thing. It's not my fault. The state of California were really going bankrupt. And the governor decided to freeze public works contracts or awarded with public funds so that he could borrow the money. And there was $53 million worth of contracts. And they were frozen. So he could use that money. It was illegal. If I had the money or the time, I would have fought him. But my owner didn't have the money. He didn't want to waste another $50,000 or $100,000 of legal fees to start a case. I mean, there's always a chance it could go wrong, and our legal system is corrupt. I'm not here to talk about legal systems, so I don't know what the statistics are, but it seems like so many things are corrupt. My judge in my case was corrupt. His background was not in dependency law. It was in property damage law, I guess. All he had background was how to do collisions and claims on collisions and settle those kinds of property disputes. What is a judge that has that background going to help out with children and lives? He was a joke. I never forget his smirk on his face. He sat up there like Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, and Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. He's like a big rounded egg. The courtroom was a joke. You weren't allowed in the courtroom. You had to sit out in the halls. The only time you came in is when they wanted to scold you or make you accept something that you didn't want to accept. It's a kangaroo court. You go in the courtroom and you just see how the defense and the prosecution work together. It's like pals. They all go out to lunch. They all play golf. I mean, it was a terrible, terrible, terrible experience. You should be allowed to be in court all the time. You should be allowed to be in court all the time. Your life is on the hands. Your children are what you created out of love with the person you loved with. You both have children. Now, maybe you're struggling. Maybe times are bad. But you can get over those humps. We all do. We live in a country with freedom, but lately I don't know where the freedom is. We're supposed to be a first world country. We have the strongest military, and we have a very democratic government. But something got lost in translation because now we're a third world country. There's no middle class. A definition of a third world country is the rich and the poor. The rich and the poor. When you only have two classes of people, you're a third world country. Our technology is so vast. We've landed on the moon. We're going to go on it again. We're going to go to Mars. We send such space explorations. We have satellites that can see a person walking on the Earth, scratching their nose. Technology is right there. All you have to do is look at the military campaigns we've done lately. I mean, we have the greatest army on Earth. It's powerful. Of course, we also have something called freedom to speak and fake news. And CPS is one of the things they try to fake, and I know firsthand it's true. It's bad. Good people like Charlie Kirk was murdered. Now, he's a guy that was trying to tell people about things that were not true. Our President Trump's been tried to be murdered 4 times, 5 times. I know that there's a big bounty on his head. But he's not a politician, and that's what's making all the politicians upset. They don't know how to work with a businessman. He's a brilliant businessman. He's been bankrupt and come back again, and he knows business, and that's what he's doing with his country. It's a business. They don't understand why we're out there fighting Iraq, that we've been, death to Americans for 47 years. Wow. Well, CPS has taken a back seat, but they are bad. And a girl named Nancy Schaefer from Georgia, a senator, my age, was brutally murdered and swept under the rug as attempted suicide, which wasn't the case. Her and her husband were murdered. Her kids would tell you that. She is an advocate of making changes. She wanted to completely abolish CPS and start over again. I don't want to abolish CPS. I want it to be fair and do family reunification. I want them to help people, not destroy families. They put children on drugs because they try to control them. They're not even, clinical health professionals. They're not even doctors. And they're prescribing prescriptions for children. They're coaching children to do things that children don't know about. They allow abuse to go on in a foster home. A girl named Faye in Richmond, Kentucky, was abused in foster care. She was trafficked as a teenager in the sex trade. She was forced to be with men so the younger kids would not have to be with men. There's something bizarre about men and women that want to use young children for sexual pleasures. That's not right. And that happens all the time in CPS cases. Kids will break away from foster home because they can't take anymore. Then that makes it worse because they meet a stranger on the internet who seduces them. And at 14 and 15, they're out doing prostitution. They're not even a chance to learn high school or to enjoy Friday night lights at a football game or to go to school dance or the prom. Young people all the time, are being abused, and it's sad. We should be concentrating on that, not making ourselves rich. I'm not against someone becoming rich. This is what the country is all about. But at the expense of our children, no, I disagree. How is CPS protecting our children that are in prostitution and that have chosen to run away, that have broken up families? How is CPS protecting them from abuse or neglect? They're supposed to protect us from neglect and abuse, and they don't. They don't. Now, I'm able to talk for free. I know that a lot of people, especially CPS, like me to be quiet. But I want to spread the word because I've talked to 2,600 people. I've talked to people in Indonesia and Bangladesh and India. I talked to a young woman that just turned 18 in India about how she was abused as a child. It goes on in every country, everywhere. The sex trade is the number one problem in the world. It really is. Russia promotes it so badly. They've kidnapped millions of children from Ukraine, and they're grooming them to be soldiers and sex slaves. Now, that's a country that used to be part of called the USSR, which was an old communist routine that failed. That failed so badly. They're trying to rejuvenate it again. You got an ex-KGB, and KBG is the Soviet Union, the old USSR, that has been groomed and groomed all the years. He wants it back. He wants it back at the expense of our children. People got to wake up and realize that we're fighting terrorism everywhere. Our people have been hurt for 4 years during the last administration because we had open borders. Now, before that, the previous president, before Biden, was Obama. And he did try to do a breakdown at the borders, but he had the people at the borders. Biden let them go all the way for 4 years without being vetted. And then they were lived up north in Minnesota. They have children too. I don't know what happened there, but it just took me away. I'm half past the hour and I'm talking again, still looking for comments or questions. Please ask me a question or comment. We can talk about your concerns. But sometimes I talk about how much our children are helplessly being abused by the system. Now, I come on at 8 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and 6 o'clock in the evening. Now, those times are the West Coast of California. I'm on Pacific time. So people in the East, you're 3 hours ahead of me. People in England, you're 8 hours ahead of me. In Europe, you're 9. Africa, you're 9. Australia, you're the next day, 15 hours ahead of me. Anyway, I'm open to any of you that have a question or comment. All you have to do is ask. And we can talk about it. We can talk about it. I know firsthand about how CPS works. At first, in my case, besides the false reports that went on for years, social workers got tired of coming out. They thought something had to be wrong with these people. Why is these lay people calling in? They put so much emphasis. They don't recognize the lay people who are doing retaliation. They have their own motive. And it's sickening to know that older people and siblings would turn against their own. My wife's 3 sisters are terrible. One in particular, because she works in social service, she knows how to say the right buzzwords. That's the sad part. Yes, I'm exposed in a lot of things. Nancy Schaefer exposed a lot of things in fighting in Georgia against CPS. Look her up. Look at the videos of Nancy Schaefer and how bad CPS is, and when she go before Congress and talk to them. But even somebody like there, someone hit her off. Someone paid to have that person eliminated. Why? Because CPS can traffic kids into the sex industry. And you probably say, oh, no, they can't do that. Well, if they can come a knocking on the door with a police escort for intimidation, open the door and start talking, and then we got to take your child. They're in imminent danger. And they're not in imminent danger. It's their MO. Because, see, when they take a child, that's the dollar starts clicking in. It's about money. It's all about money. I mean, all you have to do is look at the embezzlement of funds. In Richmond, Kentucky, there was $1 million missing. They recently have found that a social worker had embezzled $600,000. Where's the other 400? Do we have an agency that's watched by anybody? No. There's no board of directors or supervisors or anybody watching them. At the county level, it's social workers, a supervisor, and the director. That's it. That's it. And if the director is corrupt, which my director was, I went to his office, his own personal office, with, I guess, some of his supervisors. It looked like the Taj Mahal of India or the Emerald City, the Wizard of Oz, which was a fictitious place. I mean, that's where AI got started, for like something like that. I mean, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now, I've been talking for over a half an hour and I've yet to have a question. Please, a comment or question would be nice. But I know it's early in the morning, you'd like to listen. And maybe what I'm saying is helping you. But I know is that we got to fight CPS. We got to stand up to them and have them automatically stop taking our children. 50% of the CPS entities are bad. And the only way you're going to win or fight CPS is hire an attorney. CPS is like open heart surgery. It's very serious, it's very critical, and you can deal with life-saving methods. You need to know. Now, do we have plumbers and car mechanics doing open heart surgery? No, we have doctors. They're trained and educated in medical school that do an internship before they get their license. Then they have to pass exam to get their license. Then they work in the medical field and they mentor somebody for another year or two before they start doing anything dangerous, working on the heart. Now, the CPS entities, you got to deal with them because they lie, they embezzle money, they steal your children. They really steal your children only because they want that $20,000 for a child in custody or $10,000 extra for a special need. So there you go, $30,000. It seems like an uphill battle. I keep doing this, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. But if I go before Congress, I could tell them how difficult it is, how hard it is. You do your safety plan, you do all the education classes, all the parenting classes. You do programs like domestic violence for a year. You do everything CPS, and they still let your child go. You have to get that one person, that lawyer. And that lawyer costs a lot of money. They know that because most of the people that are hurting are the low income people. I can guarantee a very wealthy person would get the attorney and have their kids not taken or back in a matter of minutes. I wish I knew my 5 rules when I. I'm sorry. It seems like sometimes the internet can be funky. It puts me in a bad spot. Anyway, I'm glad to have you in my room. It's a warm welcome. And if you want help, all you have to do is type me a question. Give me your first name, your city, your state, and if you're outside the United States, your city and country. I'll gladly talk to you and help you with your questions. Oh, Aaron, I'm so sorry. My screen didn't show that you're in here. Oh, my goodness. I just saw it now, Aaron. I am so sorry. Erin is a wonderful mother that I've got to know for a long time. She's from Tennessee. And let me catch up with her. I'm going to put her comments up. I got to start at the beginning. Erin says, "Good morning, Bob, and the rest of the family." Well, I don't know where the rest of the family, you're it. Yeah, Erin says, "You may find this hard to believe, Bob, but I actually have surfed since I was years ago." Wow. I believe it. I believe it. I'm glad. I love to. Good morning. Yeah. I love to meet you in DC and talk to Congress with you. Is that what I meant to say? That'd be great. I'd love to have you. I love to go before Congress. All I have to do is talk to my state. I have 2 senators here in California. I don't know how many representatives we have. I think we have maybe 10 representatives. All it takes is one of them to put you on the floor to talk to Congress. Because we need to have it so that we have a system that is fair, that does family reunification. Wow. So you've had a passport. Can you imagine being 14 and taken away and put in a container ship and shipped to Russia, to China. How are you going to get home? Who's going to believe you? You know, people don't realize it's a dangerous world. What is it? We just have a young kid who goes to the University of Alabama that was in Barcelona, Spain, that was somehow kidnapped at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yes, it's late. It's spring break. He's over there seeing his friends. They're going to a college there. But there you go, child trafficking. Where's CPS helping out him? It's all right, Aaron. I know you haven't believed that we're going to the moon. I very much lived it. I watched it. If that was a fake moon landing, I don't know what is. That was the best movie ever. I mean, my best friend, his dad was in the space industry. And I don't know if they could fool all those people. Now, there was a movie made that they never went to the moon. I know that movie. O.J. Simpson was one of the actors in there. But it's all right. People still think the world's flat until they've sailed around the world, that you'll fall off. People that do today still believe the world is flat. Now, I've seen the moon rocks. I've looked them up close in the microscope. I'm a scientist. So I've taken a lot of classes and so forth. When I was young, I wanted to be an astronaut to drive to Mars. I wanted to fly to Mars. I wanted to be an explorer. But what happened is after we landed on the moon, the space industry died. All the aerospace engineers were suddenly working at the gas pumps, pumping gas. That's how bad it was. But we're going to go to the moon again. We're going to go to the moon again. Now, I respect you, Aaron. That doesn't make me think any less of you that don't believe that we landed on the moon. But I've been convinced enough that we have, only because of my context in the space industry. And because I've been a part of it since I started following in the 60s. I have tapes of every Gemini mission, every Mercury mission. I've been there through Mercury and Gemini and Apollo. I've been through the ones with the space shuttles. I've been to Cape Canaveral. I've been up to the support center up in Pasadena, California. I've seen the videos. I mean, there's so much I've seen. You know, the lander on Mars, rolling around on Mars. I mean, it must be really fantastic movie world because we didn't have the technology of AI back then when the moon was. I mean, anyway, enough to talk about that. The same thing happens with CPS. People believe that CPS has never done anything wrong against children. I agree. Human trafficking is more money than drugs. It's the number one industry. The sex industry is the number one industry in the world. If you want to make fast dollars, all a girl has to do when she turns 18 is to do porn. And she can escort. They do it before 18, but I think that's a child. And children at 17 or 18 and younger, not 18, below 18, should not do escorting or porn or prostitution. I mean, just think. If children stopped doing that, united they were, the men would be, I mean, these men that do it are the people that are so rich. It's really, and that's how corrupt CPS is. No, I've seen your comments, Aaron. It's not a rerun. Now, Aaron says her best dad's friend was an engineer at NASA during the Apollo missions. He said that I've not got to pick his brain on the topic, though. Well, I wish you did. I wish you. I wish you did pick his brain because um, maybe you would have found out because I did have direct. I mean, one of the astronauts, Neil Armstrong. I was a guest at dinner and he was there. I talked to him. I asked him, how was it to walk on the moon? With sparkling eyes, he told me, I know firsthand. I'm not making it up. I know the world is round because I've traveled around the world. You know, I've been to over maybe 30 countries. I've lived in five. And when you go out to sea and you sail, I've sailed. The current of the earth, it curves. And you don't drop off. When you're in Japan, you're not at the bottom of the world. I've been in a plane and see the curvature of Earth. I've been high up in the sky and see the curvature of the Earth. But people today still insist that the Earth is flat and you'll fall off it. People today still says that the space landing was a fake. Well, when we go to the moon soon in a year or two, people will see us land on the moon. They're still going to think we did land on the moon. AI did it. AI did it. Just like no one believes that CPS traffics our children, destroys our families. I'm so glad you're here talking to me, Aaron, because it makes room go a lot better. Now, all you listeners out there, you can do what Aaron does. She's sending questions and comments to me, and her name is Aaron. It's an easy name to look at. And I know that she's from Tennessee because she's been a regular. She's family. She's been in this room. I've known her for probably a good, I don't know, 6 months, a year, Aaron. You remember when we first come in here? I always liked the name Aaron because that's the name my firstborn. It was Aaron. It's really special to me, the name Aaron. So that's why I like the Aaron here. But she had a terrible CPS case. Very wrong. And she knows how corrupt CPS is in Tennessee. Now, Aaron's a typical mom from Tennessee that had a family, and CPS came and tore her family apart, made false allegations. Why? Why? So they get the money for their children, is why. It's $1 trillion business. Yeah, I agree. It's a year and a half or 2 years. But I started in October 2023, October. And I was steady all through 23, all through 24, 23 to 24, 24 to 20. Yeah, 25. And then in December of 25, the last 2 weeks, and the month of January, and 3 weeks of February, I had taken time off. But I came back on the 28th of February. And instead of doing 2 shows a day, I've now do 3 shows a day. And I really want to help you. I'm stronger than ever, believing that we need to fight CPS. And so what I try to do is I try to share what I have experienced with 2,600 people and my involvement in CPS firsthand. I have firsthand knowledge of the damage CPS does. I've met the director. I've met a lot of people. I've seen how it fails. Now, the way it works, if you can't get anywhere with your social worker, you need to speak to a supervisor. Either have the social worker replaced or tell them your concerns. If the supervisor does nothing, then go to the director. If the director does nothing, then you want to go to your state capitol. Go to the civil rights coordinator. Look it up. The civil rights coordinator will help you. And then if that doesn't work at the state, your last resort is DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. They have two numbers. Area code 202. That's the White House. That's the White House. Now, the phone number is area code 202, prefix is 456, and then quadrupled ones, 4 ones. That's one of them. The other number is area code 202 456 1414. Now, I've been telling you about that since I got started in January 2025 is when our president was elected. And that's one of the first things he did. One of his campaign promises is that he had the Department of Government Efficiency started up, and he put Elon Musk, a well-known businessman of Tensor, SpaceX, and he has that new satellite, the high-tech satellite that Ukraine is using information from and so forth. All of you can get a satellite dish on your house. Instead of being a circle dish like DirecTV, it's a rectangular dish. And it can do just exactly what DirecTV does. It's a competitor. There are several competitors out there. But anyway, he was put in charge of DOGE, and he able to save millions of dollars right away. He found out that people were being paid, they're dead. People that were not working were being paid. You should not be taking advantage of the government. A lot of people are. The goal is to save trillions of dollars. I haven't checked lately. They have a website you can go to too. It's doge.com. And you can look on the website, they can offer you a job. And it's a good job. It's a salary job, not an hourly job, with full benefits. So if you need a job, I don't know if you can work from home or not, but it's available. It's available. Now, Aaron, I see you changing your pictures. I'm looking, I'm very observant. I'm very observant. You're still beautiful, whether you're wearing glasses or whether your hair is back or whether your hair is down. Love the smile. Now, the last picture, is that an AI picture? Anyway, I know that your heart is with your children, and I know that it hurts you. So I'm so glad you're in here. And I also want to thank the other people in here. I don't know who you are. It just shows the number count of who's watching me. And again, I don't know if it's accurate. Sometimes it's shown 0 people, and there's still people in here. So I don't know. I don't know there. But it's 9:00, which means I have to end my show. It's 9:00. Yes, Lisa, I know you're late. You're still troubled with the time zone. Lisa's from Montana. She's 1 hour ahead of me. She's on mountain time. But I'm glad you're here, Lisa. And I know that Aaron knows you because you're a wonderful mother too. And you have an adorable son that I know you miss very much seeing. And Aaron says, "Hi, Lisa." Aaron says, "Thank you so much. No, it's just me. Thank you for commenting myself. That costing, oh, wow, $30,000 to get those teeth done. Oh, I need to do the same too, but I don't have $30,000. So these beautiful ladies are family to me. They've come in this room, broken heart, and they still come in here looking for their children, and I try to help them so much. Lisa finally had her criminal charges done, but her ex-husband, a long time ago, husband that has raped her, had her swept underneath the carpet. CPS doesn't know she exists. She had visitation with her son to December. Now they've cut her off. She's now in the third month. She hasn't seen her son. She does see him walk by. There's a man that she met in her life that turned out really sour. It's kind of like a stepdad. But he walks her son to the bus stop. Her ex-husband and her, I don't know what you want to call him, ex-boyfriend or partner, whatever, live in the neighborhood. And her husband is so bad that he hangs out in front of her house and stalks her. And Lisa needs to get a restraining order against him. And for those that don't know a restraining order, it's a mechanism that says you have to stay 100 yards. And you can get one right away, and then you have to go to court to prove your case. But you can get one right away. And they'll keep them 100 yards away from you. And that's what you need to do, Lisa. And you need to get your son back. And I told you what you need to do. You need to get a copy of all the records that CPS done and see where they made mistakes, because you should have had a chance to appeal any decision. And Lisa, you still need to fight for your children. I know you need to do there. I know it's terrible, Lisa, but I tell you what, I do have to go. It's already 4 minutes after the 9 o'clock, and I'll be on again at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Please, Lisa and Aaron, come and join me then. And Lisa, it's 1 o'clock, which means it's 2 o'clock your time. 2 o'clock your time. So be there. And again, I want to thank all the other people that I don't know who's in the room. I've had as many as 10 people watching, but I've only had 2 people that did any talking to me. So anyway, it's always a pleasure to see you, Lisa and Aaron. I want you 2 beautiful ladies to know that I care, and I want to help you any way I can. I want to help you. It'd be great if Lisa and Aaron would join me in Congress. Because the only way you're going to make changes, the only way you're going to get your children, is going to have Congress. Now, maybe be me talking to 2,600 people on my live stream and my firsthand experience of fighting CPS and how my daughter was forced to divorce her parents. I mean, that is the saddest part I have. I still have not seen my daughter since she was 12. I've seen pictures on the social network, and her brothers still keep in touch with her, even though they were divorced too. But thank you all for coming here. And whatever you do, don't give up. I know it's hard. Come here for moral support. Come here and talk to me. I will help you. I care. You got to think about it. How many people are doing anything 3 times a day that reaches out to the world? Even your talk hosts in the night, maybe do it 7 nights a week or 7 days. Like Oprah Winfrey will come on as a talk host. The morning news comes on with their talk host, but it's once a day. I'm doing 3 times a day, 3 hours. And that takes a lot because it's very repetitious at times. I know it is. I bore myself, so sometimes I fall asleep. I don't mean to. But I'm a dinosaur. I think when you get later in life, you need naps or whatever it is. But I try to stay wide awake, and I am wide awake. I have little mousy eyes. I don't know. They just look like they're closing. If they're not, they're wide, but I don't have them very wide, I guess. Anyway, I'm doing pretty good, but I'll hang in there. But anyway, I'm going to sign off. So I'll see you again at 1:00. Don't give up. Keep fighting for your children. God bless you all and have a beautiful morning. This is Bob Pace signing off.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last